Alright, so I'm out in the soybean field. These beans were planted on the 8th of July. Late planted beans. They are a group 3-2. These are the group 3-2 beans. Plenty of moisture. Almost looks like frost. I'm hoping that this actually picks it up. All the hair on those leaves is really holding that moisture nicely. Anyway, so the other day I was out here and there were aphids and some spider mites. The spider mites were way down. I'm probably going to go down there and look. I left a skipper, or a check, as people should properly call them, a skipper or a check. As you can see, there are ladybugs out here, which means that there are still actively aphids, spider mites, and other things. But there's some other insects that are in here, the little insects that do eat aphids and spider mites. I am not seeing any spider mite or aphid damage on these leaves at the moment. What you'll see when you flip the leaf over is like right there. See that brown spot right there? That is aphid damage. Look at them, those ladybugs. I've never been so excited to see ladybugs in my field before. Most farmers would just come out, if they had aphids or spider mites, they would come out with dimethoate or another insecticide or something like that. I did not. I used my secret sauce, which is a product that anybody can spray, anybody can get, anybody can use, and it will absolutely take out your aphids, anything that sucks the sap out of your crop, whether it's a soybean crop or anything like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a peek down in there. Pretty sure you can see the beans. They are filling. Now they're not 4 and 5 bean pods, and I never expected them to be for the time that I had planted them. And oh, I'm getting wet. My pants, I'm just getting wet. I'm walking down the track that I left from the sprayer. If you're in Europe or England, it would be a tram line. But yeah, you can definitely see the pods, and they look really good. Some yellowing leaves down below. We get these things here. The only way you're going to take those out is if you use an insecticide. If you don't know, insecticides are non-selective. They kill everything. Some things better than others, but for the most part, you will kill everything out here. I am not into killing everything. There are beneficials out here that will definitely keep the sucking insects under control. And yeah, I am not even seeing aphids. You get to the lower leaves. They like to be at the top of the plant. They're not really bottom feeders. They like the top of the plant. That's where the energy is going, to the top of the plant. You don't ever see them on the pods. And the pods are filling. Of course, my ladybugs are doing their thing. Ladybugs, each one of those ladybugs will eat 50 aphids. I don't know how many spider mites they eat a day, but spider mites are much smaller, so I imagine the number is much more. But on average, 50 aphids a day. They reproduce daily. They lay somewhere between 10 and 50 eggs per day, ladybugs do. And the nymphs eat as much as the adults do, so that's a good thing. And yeah, wow, I am soaking wet. Yeah, so that's just a little bit of insect guide for you. These beans are, about crotch high if I was to walk out in there. These are not a tall bean. Now, I have a group 3-0 that were planted on the 9th, and another go round, let's see, on the 9th and the 10th of July. And then the last of the 3-2s, of the 3-0, group 3-0 beans, those were planted on, I want to say the 15th. They are all producing pods rather quickly. We do have, let's see if I can get down in there. They are filling nicely as well. I'll pull one off of here. You can see they're filling. We got rain, plenty of moisture. This is the year to double crop. This was wheat. That's why they were planted so late. This was wheat that was put into soybeans. The reason that I put them into soybeans was because I could not return the soybeans after a certain date. I had to either use them or keep them. And keeping soybeans from one year to another is not good. These guys are just warming themselves up. That guy's been there all night. You can see there's no moisture around him, or he drank the water around him. So it was put them in the ground and hope for the best, and I think I'm going to get the best I can get out of them. They're beautiful, actually. Next year, probably not going to do this well. Next year, hopefully we have rain when we're supposed to get rain, and I don't have to be in July putting soybeans in the ground. I would much prefer putting beans after wheat sometime in late June. The whole plan on these beans, as you've noticed, if you are a follower of my channel for any amount of time, was that I was going to turn the wheat with glyphosate. Yeah, glyphosate. I was going to turn the wheat and get it off about a week and a half to 2 weeks sooner than I would if I waited for Mother Nature to do its thing. So, yeah, I was unable to do that. I couldn't achieve that this year because of the 6 weeks of no rain. Now, that put me into early July, and, early to mid-July, really, the middle of July. And up here in New Jersey, this part of New Jersey, that's a very, very not so good thing to do. It just doesn't work out that very often with that. Now, some of you are probably wondering, why did you plant a group 3 and 3-2 in July? That doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't you have gone with a 1.9 or a 2.2 or something like that? Well, according to the agronomist, he said, if you're going to plant late soybeans, do not do that. The latest you want to plant, he said, the shortest season bean you want to plant is in the group 3 to 3.5, late like that. If you plant soybeans early and you want to plant a group 2 to 2.5 or something like that, you can do that because they mature much faster, and then you're able to get wheat in behind them. Maybe this coming season I will do that. I don't know. I do know that early planted beans, they do yield higher. I have personally got over 80 bushels to the acre on soybeans on an early plant before we had major deer problems. And look at these. These are my sunflowers. I put these sunflowers in this field. I had rye in there, and I planted them thicker than thieves. The lady down the lane here, she has a flower. What is she called? The Garden Lady Flowers, I think is what she calls it. And I told her I was planting them there, and she would be more than welcome. Oh, didn't I tell you I was going to go down there? Yes, I did. And I didn't think I put my turn signal on to back up there. All right, so I'm going to show you the check where the secret sauce was not applied. Yeah, where the secret sauce was not applied. And man, you can see the pod's really setting on that. I expected the deer to eat this and stay out of my soybeans. I went to Walmart and bought sunflower seed for birds and just threw it out there. Sprayed Roundup on it. There is a rye cover crop underneath it when that dies back. And you should almost be able to see the, yeah. You should almost be able to see, there's a groundhog here someplace. You can see groundhogs and deer. Okay, so let me get out of here, and I will take a walk over there, because somebody drives in and out of there. I know who it is, but yeah. Anyway, so if you look, my tram line there, or the tracks that I use, I kind of got a little wonky with my GPS, and instead of driving over a new patch of beans, I just keep following the same tracks. I've been in this field 3 times with the sprayer. 3 times, yeah, no, 4 times the sprayer. Twice with glyphosate, twice with secret sauce. And I just followed the same tracks. The boom does not touch that spot right there. It doesn't touch it. You can see right where the boom went. And I left that little spot there. And I told my wife, I said, we're going to see if this secret sauce does what I suspect it's going to do. And sure enough, I'm not walking out there because I don't want to be drenched. Sure enough, you can see that yellow. So that is a non-toxic, edible thing that you can put on your plants. A little bit of research, just a little bit of research, and you may or may not be able to find what this is. When you do find it, you're going to be like, what? What? And then you're going to be like, really? No way does that work. No way. Fuck's sakes. That ain't going to work. That's what you're going to be saying. And you know what? I'm just going to laugh about it because it does work. I'm living proof that it does work. That spot there is living proof. I've got another streak at my cousin's place, and that streak at my cousin's place is just amazing to me because I got off track. So what happened was Timothy had put down the organic fertilizer, and I actually got off of my track on the second go round with the sprayer, and I was off by about 1.5 feet. And that 1.5 feet is just a streak that goes down across the field because I didn't put the secret sauce on. Yeah. But to me, if you're looking at these soybeans, honest to God, these things were planted on the 8th of July. I got proof too. I mean, David Kaiser's the one that planted those. My wife planted the ones on the other side, and if you ask them, they will say, hey, yeah, I planted those on that day because that's when we were able to get them in the ground. Planted with a John Deere 15-foot 750 no-till drill that I rebuilt a couple of years ago. So, anyway, yeah, and the sunflowers were planted about 1.5 weeks later. When I combined the rye, I went out and I planted them then. So, anyways, enough looking at my ugly mug. You could just see those beans in there. And I'm sure if I got along the edge of it, you would definitely be able to see the ladybugs as well. And I did the neighbor solid. I sprayed Roundup in the ditches because these things grow up and they just cause problems. So I sprayed them with glyphosate. And you can see that some of the ragweed and other things that are becoming tolerant are not affected by that. And this is only the second year that I actually farmed this. This hasn't had row crops in it until last year, since 1992, and that was wheat. And yet along the edge here, there's resistant mare's tail, ragweed, and other things. And I don't skimp on the glyphosate. I put a full dose on. I don't play around. But anyway, I got 230 acres of soybeans that look like this. Doesn't sound like a lot, but after wheat, I was a little bit nervous doing it. I had another 130 acres of corn that I put in on July 5th, and that looks pretty sweet too. So this is the year to do it. Next year may be a total disaster. I don't know.